Hello, welcome to knowyourgovernment.us. We are here direct from the UCLA campus. We're talking to the students today about one simple issue. How do you feel about the state of our union right now? Do you feel that the country is going on a good path or a bad path? Remember, we had a president, President Bush, for 8 years. Now we have a new president. It's been a year. How do you feel about the path that our country is forging right now?
Well, currently, I feel that the path isn't, of course, is the road less traveled because it is a path for change. However, the State of the Union, as of currently, although I'm not completely knowledgeable about everything that's going on, I do know that it's headed in a different direction from what it was previous times. Um, and that's pretty much all that.
Okay, now you're a student at UCLA. And this last year, let's bring it to home. You've seen your tuition go up 33% under this new presidency, under this new path. Is that a path that you're enjoying or you like?
Well, I was unaware if it was the path of the presidency to effectively pass all laws because as president you're seated, so you have obligations like here and there. So you have like national obligations, international obligations. So when I heard of the tuition hikes, I thought it was more of the California state government that was actually implementing everything in terms of the tuition fees and the fee hikes. So when it came to the problem of actually affecting us here on campus, the first thing that hit my head was, what exactly is the state of California doing in order to compensate for these fee hikes? Is it the fact that, is it a decision that our president made, or is it a decision that the government of California actually implemented, and was it their effective decision? How do they feel about it? And because it's passed, obviously they feel somewhat morally positive about their decision. However, it is affecting students every day here. There are students who are unable to live in the dorms now and getting kicked out of dorms because they can no longer afford staying on campus and things of that nature. So although it's headed in a path for change, I won't exactly say that it's a direct decision of the president himself. I would say that the legitimacy and the governmency of California is actually implementing and changing the situation here on campus.
Okay, well now let's talk about the president, since those very good ideas that you're sharing with us. Now, the president in October approved the largest military budget that the country's ever seen. Now we know from Bush was one that we started 2 wars, one in Afghanistan, we went to Iraq. You were even talking about Iran towards the end of his presidency. And now under Obama, we're seeing the largest military budget that we've ever seen. We've seen 65,000 soldiers plus in 1 year under his presidency going to Afghanistan. Iraq, we're not leaving Iraq at this point. And we're set to, make another record this year, and he's set to approve the largest military budget that's ever been passed since the last one, which was the largest of all time. It's $700 billion plus. So now that these things are happening, how do you feel about that path that the country is going in? A path of, 65,000 more soldiers to Afghanistan, bringing the total to 100,000, young men and women in service. And Iraq, it's not really in the news anymore, but we got, well over 100,000 soldiers there. And also in October, Obama approved the building of 7 military bases in Colombia. 7 U.S. military bases in Colombia. So how does this make you feel? Do you think this is the right path for the country?
Well, I'm not exactly sure what his motive was behind the decision because like I mentioned before, I was never following up on the political climate of everything because I was more concerned about things here on campus, which is an issue within itself. However, because I don't know his exact motive, I don't want to exactly say that because it's almost similar to Bush's his decision in terms of sending 65 plus soldiers, or 65,000 plus soldiers to Iraq and Afghanistan, and they are still there. My brother's actually one of them. However,
It's the same policy, is what I'm trying to get at.
okay, it's the same policy.
Well, yes, the policy of the Bush administration was to continue those wars and to leave the soldiers there and to even build up soldiers in Afghanistan. And we've seen the same policy. That's all I'm saying. I think Obama, is a very, very charismatic individual, and I like him. I like to hear what he has to say. But it's important that we look at the policy behind the rhetoric, Because Bush, when we saw Bush, you and me, we were like, this guy's just making stuff up as he goes, Obama, better face, you know, I respect the man. He's went really far, but the policy is the issue, and that's something I'm trying to talk to the students about. So,
Exactly.
so what do you think about that policy, the policy of engaging in multiple wars? You know, they're talking about Yemen right now. They're talking about Iran, you know, things like this. What do you think about that kind of policy? A policy of build up more troops, when at the same time here at home we're seeing our problems. You know, we see you're talking about the California state government not having money to help the school, and then the school has to raise money on us and makes the students' job harder. You know, but at the same time we've seen that the government stepped in private companies that were failing and has, you know, rewarded them with billions of dollars. Why can't they do something like that for California? You know, the wealthiest state that's now in a quagmire of financial crisis. So all I'm trying to tell you is the policy. You know, look past the political people and just look at the policy they enact, because that's what really is going on. You know, so what do you think about that policy of building up soldiers, of being in other countries, of spending more money on the military? Do you think that's a good policy to follow for our country?
Well, not completely. Seeing the fact that just merely being in like other countries is almost like um, uninvitingly like dipping into their business and
Yeah.
whatnot. And so by trying to like implement ourselves onto their already like established and cultured way of life seems to be problematic due to the fact that they're just not used to our American ways. Not really knowledgeable of like what we're doing, because as soon as I'm pretty sure like if another country was to like come here and to like just like implement themselves or
Yeah.
whatever like with our already like everyday life and doings, then it'll be problematic on our part, and we wouldn't really know like how to attack the situation. And it seems like from like what you've told me, it seems as though like that's the same exact issue that's going on out there.
Yeah, no, and I really think it's good that the way you're thinking right now, the way you're saying, well, let's put ourselves in their position. How would, you know, you and I, as American citizens, how would we like it if a foreign power came in? You know, they don't even speak our language. We can't even understand them, and they got a bunch of guns. You know, it'd be problematic to say the least. You know, I would foresee Americans, you know, taking up arms no matter what. We've done it before. Our history shows us that, you know. So that's an interesting point. One last thing I want to talk to you about now is you're a student here at UCLA. Um, how are other students reacting to what they're seeing, you know, right now in the government, or, you know, what they see in politics? How is the financial crisis affecting them? Have you heard from other students about this? What's the general consensus?
Well, the general consensus on the fee hikes is that the fee hikes have made things actually like worse in terms of um, just like students' everyday living here on campus, due to the fact that living in the dorms becomes more problematic. So like students involved in different student orgs are quitting more frequently than recent like years, due to the fact that they can no longer commit time to like a student organization that may be for their own personal benefit but not their financial benefit. So they're getting like more jobs, and with more jobs becomes more stress, and more stress in addition to having to take like a strict set of units for classes seems to be like more problematic on their part, which is causing like students to almost like stress out and
Yeah.
be in a predicament that they didn't think they were going to be in, like like when they first enrolled in UCLA or the UC
System in general.
Right, right, right.
Okay, so we're here at UCLA talking to students. We're talking about right now the state of our government, the State of the Union. Obama is set to address the public shortly about the State of the Union. So, you know, it's good to ask questions. It's good to inform people about the government. It's good to have ideas on how things can change and what needs to change. It is important that we all look at the policy aside from the rhetoric, because, I mean, speeches can be so, you know, so powerful, but at the same time, we need to look at the policy that's being enacted. Once again, Luis Alfredo Maya for knowyourgovernment.us. Do you know your government? It is your duty.